In both new build and renovation maintenance and improvement, the sheer quantity of building regulations governing thermal insulation and noise control means that great care must be taken in floor design. Fermacell flooring elements are available in a range of styles to suit your individual needs and can solve these flooring problems, from thermal insulation through both airborne and impact sound insulation to underfloor heating. Fermacell flooring is designed as a system. A full range of accessories is provided. Whilst they are easy to install, it's important to study the instruction manual before starting work on the flooring itself. Let's start with the example of laying Fermacell flooring elements on a suspended timber joist floor. The floor must be structurally sound before the flooring elements are laid. In this instance, as the existing floor is not level, a layer of Fermacell leveling compound will be applied. All loose floorboards must be secured. As Fermacell systems are designed to be installed as floating floors, perimeter isolation strips are first laid around the edge of the room. Mineral or wood fibre strips or polystyrene in roll form is suitable. Where Fermacell is being used for fire protection, mineral fibre should be used. To prevent Fermacell leveling compound from filtering through any cracks and knot holes, trickling protection should be installed. In this case, an overlapped layer of building paper is used. The finished height of the leveling compound should be marked on the wall. Ridges of leveling compound are laid to this level. Battens of wood, or in this case leveling gauges, are then bedded on the top. The granular Fermacell leveling compound can now be poured directly onto the floor. The compound is easily spread, for example using a Fermacell leveling set. The leveling compound must be laid to a minimum depth of 10 millimeters. Any surfaces must be covered by a layer of compound at least this thick. The variety in the size and angular shape of the grain will ensure that the compound does not slump. Adding the leveling compound also has the improved effect of improving airborne and impact sound insulation, as well as improving thermal insulation levels. The maximum depth of leveling compound is 60 millimeters, and further compaction is not necessary. Leveling is now complete. Work can now commence on laying the 1500 by 500 mm Fermacell flooring elements, starting at the door. Alternatively, a stepping stone system can be used, allowing flooring work to be started at the far side of the room. In general, it's best to lay the first row along the long length of the room. Taking the first element, the top projecting lap is removed on both sides. This ensures the element butts tightly into the corner of the room. After this, the projecting laps in the first row need only to be cut to size on the long sides that abut the wall. It's important to ensure that the elements are tightly butted against the perimeter insulation strip. Flooring adhesive is then run along the seam. 2 beads of adhesive are applied simultaneously, speeding up the operation. The next element is then placed in position. The elements must be tightly fitted against each other. End of row pieces are cut to size using a handsaw or an electric jigsaw. However, it's much faster and more accurate to use a hand-operated circular saw with a vacuum attachment. Here, the finishing piece is being placed into position. The other piece of the cut board is used to start the next row. In other words, Fermacell elements are laid in a staggered bond. There is no wastage from offcuts. Because no cross joints are produced, the floor is much stronger and can be considered to be a continuous floating membrane. In order to ensure that the maximum joint strength is achieved, the flooring elements must be screwed together using Fermacell floor screws at 250 mm centers no later than 10 minutes after the adhesive has been applied. It's also possible to use diverging staples. This considerably speeds the installation process. In doorways or other awkward areas, an infill piece can be made up on site using offcuts. These are glued and screwed together in the same way as before. These infill pieces can also be made from Fermacell wallboards, jointed and screwed together in situ. In domestic applications, the expansion gaps are only required for rooms of over 20 meters in length. Full technical and installation details are given in our flooring instruction manual. Once the adhesive has set, remove any excess from the surface with a spatula or decorator's scraper. When the upper surface of the boards is clean, any indentations, small gaps at joins and screw heads should be filled using Fermacell joint filler. The floor is now ready to accept a wide variety of floor finishes. Typical suspended timber